Today we're going to continue testing the hot hand with the percentages of success. A third way to test for the hot hand is to compare the percentages of successful performances following a success with the percentages of successful performances following a failure. To do this, we will look at pairs of outcomes and classify them into 4 categories. Success, success, which is YY, success, failure, YN, failure, success, NY, and failure, failure, NN. If a player's outcomes are independent, then his or her ability to be successful is the same following a success and following a failure. However, if the athlete has the hot hand, then his or her ability to be successful will be higher following a successful performance than following an unsuccessful performance. Did Shaquille O'Neal have the hot hand? Over his career, Shaquille O'Neal has been known for his poor free throw shooting ability. To investigate, we will look at Shaq's pairs of free throws in a 10-game stretch from February 26 through March 15, 2009. Because we will only be looking at the times when he attempted 2 free throws, the possible outcomes are YY if he makes both, YN if he makes the first and misses the second, NY if he misses the first and makes the second, and NN if he misses both. The results of his 28 pairs are shown for the 10 games below. Overall, Shaq made the first shot 14 times. After making the first shot, he made the second shot 10 times and missed the second shot 4 times. After 14 times where he missed the first shot, he made the second shot 9 times and missed the shot 5 times. The following two-way table and graph summarize these results. To see if there is any evidence that Shaq had the hot hand, we need to compare his performance after a made shot and his performance after a missed shot. So the test statistic would be 10 out of 14 minus 9 out of 14, which is 1 out of 14, or 7.1%. Our hypotheses, our HO, would be the outcomes of Shaq's shots. Are independent. And our HA would be Shaq had the hot hand. To simulate the outcomes of his second shots by hand, take 28 note cards and write Y on 19 of them to represent the 19 times Shaq made the second free throw, and write N on 9 of them to represent the 9 times Shaq missed the second free throw. Shuffle the cards and make 2 piles of 14. The first pile represents the 14 times Shaq shot after making the first free throw, and the second pile represents the 14 times Shaq shot after missing the first free throw. So an example of simulation is shown here, and it would find that 11 out of 14 times he made it after making the first shot, and 8 times out of 14 he made it after missing the first shot, for a difference of 21.5%. So if we run the simulation to get 100 trials and record the dot plot difference below, then you would see that everything from our value, which was 7.1, and higher would be what we would look at for the p-value. Did Kobe Bryant have the hot hand? In Game 4 of the 2010 NBA Finals, Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers scored 33 points against the Boston Celtics. Although he certainly performed well, do his outcomes provide convincing evidence that he had the hot hand during the game? Here are the results of Kobe's shot attempts, not including free throws. State the hypotheses we are interested in testing. So our HO would be the outcomes of Kobe's shots are independent. And our HA be the Kobe had the hot hand. You could also say Kobe was a streaky player, and that would be fine as well. Using the 22 actual outcomes, create 21 pairs of outcomes by pairing the first and second, the second and third, the third and fourth, etc. Then summarize these pairs in a two-way table. Well, if you write them down, you would have the pairs YY, YN, NN, NY, YY, YY, YN, NN, 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 NY, YN, NY, YY, YN, NN, 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 NY, YY, and YN. So when you make your table, we would have 4 columns. This would be totals. This would be made first, and this would be missed first. This would be made second, and this would be missed second. So we have 5 that were YY, 5 that were YN, for a total of 10, 4 that were NY, 7 that were NN, for a total of 11, gives us 21, 12, and 9. Calculate the value of the test statistic. So that would be 5 out of 10 minus 4 out of 11, which is going to be 14%. Describe how to simulate the distribution of the test statistic, assuming that Kobe's shot outcomes were independent. So we would take 21 note cards, and write Y on 9 and N on 12. Then we would shuffle them and divide them into 2 piles. So 10 would be for when he made the first shot. And 11 for when he missed it. Then you would calculate the percent Y in each pile. Then you would subtract made first minus missed first. Plot on a dot plot and repeat many times. So they did 100 trials of the simulation, and they want us to use the dot plot to estimate and interpret the p-value. So we need at least 14, so we're looking for here and up, which is 45 out of 100, or 45%. So we would say, assuming the outcomes of Kobe's shots are independent, we would expect a difference in shooting percentage that would be made first minus missed first of at least 14%. (45% of the time by random chance). Is there convincing evidence that he had the hot hand? Well, we had 45%, so we would say no. It could have happened by random chance.